Right now, somebody watching this is lying awake at 2 in the morning, replaying that conversation from work, wondering if their boss is going to fire them. Or maybe you're that person that walks into a room expecting everyone to judge them. Or you check your phone and you immediately assume the worst when someone doesn't text you back. If that's you, then this video will change everything. Most people spend a lot more time imagining disasters than possibilities. But what if you could flip that? What if instead of thinking what could go wrong, you first thought is what could go right? Because here's what most people don't realize. The real cost of expecting the worst is not just stress in your head. It's messed up sleep, missed opportunities, panic attacks, chronic tension in your body, and that feeling that the life is just closing in on you. And I'm going to show you a weird 5-second trick that can instantly stop those thoughts from spiraling. But first, you need to understand why your brain does this. Let me guess what you're thinking right now. But imagining the worst helps me prepare. It's being realistic. And yeah, I used to think that, but here's the thing. Thinking the worst feels protective, but it's actually like planting weeds in your own garden. Every time you imagine failure or rejection or disaster, you're dropping another weed seed into the soil of your mind. And weeds grow fast. You should see my real garden. Soon they choke out all of the good things that you actually want to grow. Your negative expectations don't just make you feel terrible. They actually can become self-fulfilling prophecies. Let me tell you exactly how this happened to me. I got into the habit of coming home from work expecting my wife to be mad at me about something. I'd have this defensive, irritated energy. You know, that vibe you get when someone's really already upset with you. And surprise, surprise, she would end up getting mad at me. But then one day, I did an experiment. And this time I had actually done something wrong, and she had every reason to be mad at me. But I decided to do the opposite of what I normally do. And I actually imagined her being super happy to see me and that she had forgotten about the whole thing. And the result was incredible. She was happy to see me. It turned out exactly the way I had expected it to, which actually is how most things turn out. Try this in your own life. Deliberately expect something different and watch what happens. But why does your brain default to disaster mode anyway? There are 3 main reasons. Reason 1, it feels like protection. You unconsciously think, if I expect failure or rejection, it'll hurt less when it happens. But your unconscious mind takes those thoughts as instructions and creates the very anxiety and behaviors that make the worst thing more likely to happen. Reason 2, you think it motivates you. You believe that imagining disaster will push you to work harder or avoid mistakes. It's the same reason we yell at ourselves. You stupid idiot, what's wrong with you? You're trying to bully and scare yourself into doing better. But fear and abuse is a terrible motivator for positive outcome. It leads to stress, procrastination, and burnout. It pushes you away from pain, yes, but not towards your goals. I mean, do you like it when someone yells at you and tries to scare you into doing what they want? I don't. I won't even take it for myself. You better not eat that cookie. Who do you think you are? Reason 3, you're trying to control the uncontrollable. And I used to be a biological risk assessor for the US Department of Agriculture. I was literally paid to imagine everything that could possibly go wrong. And that works kind of if you have infinite time and resources, but in real life, you're just spending all your energy on the thing you don't want. So here's how to break the cycle with 3 simple steps. Step 1, accept uncertainty as normal. Stop right now and think about this. Life being unpredictable isn't a flaw. It's what makes life worth living. If everything were perfectly predictable, you might as well read the summary and skip to the end. The great philosopher Yogi Berra once said, if the world were perfect, it wouldn't be. Trying to eliminate uncertainty by imagining disasters just doesn't work. It's like trying to predict what the weather will be like in 3 weeks by watching old hurricane videos. And here's a 30-second exercise. The next time you feel that familiar anxiety about an uncertain situation, say out loud, I don't know what will happen. And that's okay. That's completely normal. Feel how that kind of relieves the pressure to have all the answers. Step 2, focus on what you want, not what you fear. Your mind unconsciously follows the direction of your attention. Thinking don't mess up still points you towards messing up. So instead of saying, what if I fail? Try this phrase. What do I have to do to succeed? And what would that look like? Anytime you find yourself expecting the worst, pause and flip it and ask yourself, what outcome do I actually want here? Then visualize that happening and identify one action that moves you toward it. Once I had to give a short speech to some African scientists in French. I was panicking. I was thinking, they're going to think I'm an idiot. I'm going to have to crawl out of this room on the floor. And then I remembered my own advice and I thought, what do I actually want to happen here? Well, I want to deliver this bit of information that's going to be really helpful to them. I need to speak slowly and clearly so that they can understand me. With that, I gave my little speech and it was actually fine. Step 3, look for the good. Nothing in this world is perfect. Not people, not situations, not outcomes. In every person or circumstance, you can find something to criticize or to fear, but the opposite is also true. You can just as easily find something useful, positive, maybe even beautiful. When you look for the bad, you will find it. Here's your daily practice. Every morning, write down one thing that you're genuinely looking forward to that day. I mean, it could be something simple. It could be your cup of coffee. Or it could be something huge, like a presentation. This trains your mind to scan for possibilities instead of problems. I ask my clients this question, and I'm going to ask you now. If this challenging situation, whatever you're dealing with, happened for a reason, what is that reason? What are you supposed to learn or gain from this? This single question transforms any problem into an opportunity to grow. Another time in Africa, I left my passport in a taxi cab and it was lost. I had to get a new one made, I had to go find the embassy, spend the day standing in line, got the new one made, then had to go to another embassy to get a visa. I was so enraged. It was a waste of 2 days of my trip. And then when I finally got the new passport, someone turned in the old one, but it had already been canceled. So what was I supposed to learn from this? That there are good people that will turn passports in, that you can get a passport when you're overseas in an emergency, which is good to know. It was useless to get so enraged for 2 days and waste part of my trip over something that was fixed in the end. But the most important thing I learned, and what makes that experience invaluable to me, is that now I always turn around after getting out of a car, a seat on the bus or the train, and look at that seat. And that trait has saved me so much agony. I cannot even tell you how many times I look back and saw my glasses or my wallet or my bag sitting there where I was about to leave it. Of course, there are situations that are much, much worse than this, but you can always learn something. Now for that 5-second trick, I promise you. So when that inner voice, that critic, starts saying terrible things to you, simply take the tip of your tongue and press it to the roof of your mouth and hold it there. You're literally stopping its voice. This interrupts that spiral and gives you a moment to redirect your thoughts. It's an instant in-body hack that makes everything else I've taught you easier to apply. So try it out right now. I'll wait. Once you break the habit of always expecting the worst, you'll feel more optimistic and more open to life. And yes, expecting the best and looking for the good will make your life significantly better. But don't confuse that with expecting things to be easy. That's a recipe for disappointment. Life is unpredictable. As we know, it brings challenges. The real shift is becoming the kind of person who can handle those challenges without collapsing back into fear and negativity. And that's exactly what I'll show you in this video, how to change yourself into a better person fast. It reveals the simple identity shift that makes optimism stick. So you're not just thinking better thoughts, you're actually living as a stronger, calmer version of yourself. What's one negative expectation you're ready to flip? Let me know in the comments below.